Hey guys, King Charms here to be a judge, a jury, and analyst. And today I bring to you my best budget team for Ultra Premier Classic. This is the classic Charizard, Swampert, Safe Switch, Venusaur in the closer. And it's pretty nuts how this team is still really strong and able to, well, this team has factually taken people to legend before, and it still can. And you're going to see me just absolutely break. Walrein is your worst nightmare for this team and beat your entire team. But you're going to see how we're going to absolutely destroy losing lead and Walrein teams with this in the Shoutcast. So all these mons are budget because they only take 10k dust. And right now you can actually get Swampert and I think Venusaur for Frenzy Plant. Right now you can get Swampert's Hydro Cannon. So hopefully you'll be able to build this team. However, it does feature Wing Attack Charizard. So you're going to need to Elite TM to Wing Attack if you don't have one or someone can trade one to you. But all these mons only take 10k dust for the second move. And when you power them up to Ultra League, they're not too expensive. So very budgety team, and it's one that I feature a lot. But before we get started, it's going to be my therapist mental health tip of the day. And as usual, you could skip this by going ahead of the chapters. Now, since we're talking about budget, I'm going to talk about affordable therapy, because those of you that are out, there are individuals out there that are like, oh, therapy is $100 to say what it is costs nothing. You're freaking idiots, and I'm going to call you freaking idiots because therapy is affordable. Because you don't know anything and you think you know stuff just because you want likes on freaking social media. You're garbage. I'm just going to say that right now. But do not listen to those individuals because there are actually many affordable therapy options. Go to your insurance provider, or there's actually prorated organizations out there, or those that actually offer therapy for free. So, you never know that, don't you? Well, that's because people just want social media likes, like I said. And yeah. But this one was actually reviewed. This is by Psych Central. I love Psych Central because all of their articles are actually peer-reviewed by mental health professionals or specialists in their field. And this one was actually updated for 2023. So it was updated on November 28th, so not too long ago, 2022. So it was updated about 3 weeks ago. So this one will show a good amount of affordable therapy options, etc. You can do online therapy. There's also there's a bunch of free ones over here. So you have 7 Cups, you have the Crisis Tech Line, you have the free suicide, the National Suicide Hotline, and there's definitely a lot of different options here. And like I mentioned, if you go through insurance, you're likely going to get free therapy sessions, or if you work for a company, they might get you free therapy options as well via your insurance plan, or the company provides it. For example, I know one company that provides 10 free therapy sessions as part of their compensation package. So yes, there are free therapy options out there. Like I mentioned, I worked for the city, so we did therapy for free as long as they had insurance. They had Medi-Cal, which if you are of low salary anyways, you can qualify for Medicaid or Medi-Cal. So there you go. So there are affordable and free therapy options out there. You just have to look for them and not look on social media, because people on social media usually will give you the worst advice possible because they are actually specialists in their field, or they're specialists and they're doing ethical nonsense, like trying to give advice over, yeah. But yeah, definitely take a look at this article. It's in the description. Without further ado, this is my best budget team for Ultra Premier Classic, and let's get started. Alright, here are the battles. So here's a good example of why you should really watch out when you swap. So as you see here, I have Charizard onto Lapras. Usually what I do in this scenario is I try to get a Blast Burn through shields and come out with a 2-to-1 shield advantage. Or you can try and Blast Burn and Dragon Claw. So this is what I'm doing right now. I'm going to Blast Burn, and then I'm going to try to Dragon Claw to chip away at Lapras. So Blast Burn goes through, and they're going to farm me down completely here. As you see, they're going to go ahead and I'm going to swap out of Charizard and then send in Swampert to get some extra energy here. So as you see here, I'm going to swap into Swampert, and my opponent fires Surf. So I'm going to eat 2 Surfs here, but that's fine. Or my opponent's going to swap out of this matchup. And as you see, my opponent swaps into Alolan Muck, and then they top left. I don't know why you did that, because you still have play. Don't give up if you accidentally miss swap. You still have play, unless it's just a really bad matchup. But yeah, make sure you watch where you swap. Speaking of watching where you swap, this was kind of a terrible idea. Well, not really a terrible idea, but here you have We win the lead, Venusuar against Charizard, and then they swap it to Walrein. Walrein is your worst nightmare with this team because it beats your entire team. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to Frenzy Plant. I send in Venusuar because I'm going to try to Frenzy Plant to break shields. Usually I'll send in Swampert and then try to Earthquake through shields, but here I'm just Frenzy Planting. So I'm going to try to break both shields here and try to come out with some sort of win condition because this is actually very terrible for you. And a little bit of the video actually cuts out in one of the sequence and then it goes back to the battle, but you're going to see that later. So as you see, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to be able to fire both Friendly Plants and take them to the zeros. But this Walrein wins it, they win back alignment, and this thing just loaded on energy. This giant shiny seal, it's purple by the way, it's adorable, it's cute, and it's a very, very nice shiny, and then we're going to go straight Earthquake. I'm going to eat a move regardless, so I'm going to eat an Icicle Spear here, I'm going to have to eat a move no matter what. Then we're going to get rid of the worst Mon to our entire line right here. So I'm gonna like, this is like negative 69 degrees because we're getting Icicle Spear to death, literally speared to death, and we're gonna have to pray that Charizard can come out with some kind of win condition, that or a huge amount of energy lead. So as you see, I'm getting as much energy as you can, and they send in the Venusaur. I swap out of Swampert, and then as you see here, I'm not gonna fire a move right away because they're probably going to fire. I'm hoping they fire Frenzy Plant. And they do. Because of this, I can get a lot more energy on Charizard. So 1, 2, 3. It takes 6 to a Frenzy Plant, so I'm just going up to 5, and I'm going to fire right away. I could have fired on CMP, but it doesn't really... Well, I could have fired on CMP, but I think I'm 1 count off, at least from my counts. And then, as you see, there's Swampert. So I'm going to fire a Blast Burn here. Now I still have my shield. Here's the thing, though. My Swampert still has energy, so I can send in Swampert and combo in. So as you see, I'm going to keep on trying to wing attack down. My opponent fires their Hydro Cannon, and then I have no choice but to shield. So here's the shield right here. And then this is what happens. So I'm going to, as you see here, I'm gathering a bunch of energy, and I'm going to fire Dragon Claw. I want to run the clock. And then after this, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go send in Swampert and try to combo with a Hydro Cannon. Well, here's what happens. So I fire on the Hydro Cannon. Usually it's supposed to take priority, but it doesn't, and my Swampert dies. And then as you see here, I'm able to get to a Blast Burn for that Walrein and able to wing attack down precisely. So what happens is I sack my Walrein I sacrifice my poor Swampert to the gods. I was able to Blast Burn with Charizard, and then after that wing attack down the Swampert for the dub. So my opponent misplayed terribly, but I think I caught them on CMP. And then after that, I was able to barely, because if they got one more mud shot, I definitely would have been dead. So that's how that battle went out. So yeah, make sure you don't misplay. Well, rather, their Icicle Spear didn't kill me, which I was able to get to a Blast Burn. And I was able to wing attack down because one Icicle Spear didn't kill my Charizard. We got Crobat on a Charizard here. This is a winning lead for us, but it's only if they eat the Blast Burn. As you see here, I was able to bait and beat and have them eat the Blast Burn. And then we have an Exeggutor, which is actually a very terrible matchup for us. C-Bombs will kill Swamperts, and it resists everything it has to offer to you, even though that's a Shadow Exeggutor. So I'm going to send in Swampert, and I'm going to go ahead and force that C-Bomb energy, and I'm going to try to basically do as much chip as I can. I should send in Venusaur, but you don't want Venusaur to get chunked by these confusions, because they actually hurt a lot. My opponent swaps out in a Heracross. So I'm going to go ahead and fire these Hydro Cannons. 2 Hydro Cannons will be enough, and then all I have to do to finish this match is just swap in a Venusaur and then bomb, absolutely bomb and sludge gunk. It sounds, Sludge Bomb is I never noticed this, but Sludge Bomb is a really dumb animation. As you see here, these confusions are chunking. And what I mean by it's a dumb animation, I'm going to shield this. It's going to be a Psychic, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to be able to get the Sludge Bomb. And then Sludge Bomb is just tossing this little gunk at your opponent. It doesn't even look that threatening. So there's a Sludge Bomb. Boom. It literally tosses a pile of turd. It's like it's tossing a turd towards your opponent. And it doesn't look that threatening. So I always noticed, I was just like, how does that hurt so much? And I'm like, it's freaking Pokemon. It's Pokemon. We got a shiny Obstagoon onto Charizard. And I'm like, oh, it's a shiny Obstagoon. Here's the thing. This is actually pretty neutral. You technically win the 2 shield. However, you have to decide whether you're going to go down shields or they're going to go down shields. So it's really up to you. Your play here is to get a Blast Burn through shields. So we're going to hit the Blast Burn, and we do get a Blast Burn through shields. If you get a Blast Burn through shields, then it's pretty comfortable for you. You could eat this Night Flash, and then you could go for the Dragon Claw to win alignment. The problem here is that they're going to be able to farm down your Charizard. As you see, my opponent gives a swap and they send in a Muck. I fire Blast Burn and then I'm going to swap out into Swampert. I should have banked the energy here, but the Blast Burn actually goes through shields, which allows me to set up a Hydro Cannon, and then this will take out my opponent. Muck usually carries Thunder Punch and Dark Pulse, so Dark Pulse goes through. Doesn't do a lot against Swampert, and I'm just going to overcharge a little bit and fire Hydro Cannon. Now I have a fully loaded Swampert, and my opponent has to deal with a whole Venusaur still, and I have a Sax off for a Charizard. So as you see, Venusaur comes in, and this is actually very terrible. A Venusaur Swampert is going to get farmed down, and then their Venusaur is going to be ahead of energy versus my Venusaur. So I'm actually in a lot of danger right now. I'm like, oh, this is very unfortunate. Not only that, I wasn't able to hurt Earthquake through shield. So it's another thing. So now this Swampert our Swampert's going to get farmed down, and their Venusaur has a lot of HP. So I have to sack, basically. Or I can sack. So as you see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not able to call the first one. I have 2 shields, though. So as you see here, I'm just going to shield. I don't want to eat a Sludge Bomb, and I'm able to catch a Sludge Bomb. And I'm just going for a little more. And we get caught on CMP. So they actually win CMP on this one, which is kind of nuts because my Venusaur doesn't have the best IVs. Sludge Bomb goes through. I don't call this one, but this is fine. My opponent is in range to where all I have to do is straight Frenzy Plant. So I should be able to outpace them. Frenzy Plants go through, but one of you called me the King of Sacks, which is very, very accurate, actually. So because my coconuts are very large. And as you see, we're going to plant away at this poor Venusaur. And then I'm going to call the 1 HP in a Dream Sack. And then boom, we catch, because I'm a King of Sacks. And then after that, we're going to be able to send our Venusaur. I just have to watch out because they might try to catch Frenzy Plant. And they do, but it doesn't really matter anyways, because all I'm going to do is undercharge here. After I undercharge, I should be able to get all the energy back. As you see here, get the 2 more, and then I still have a shield. And I can Frenzy Plant them for the dub. They have to get to a Sludge Bomb to finish me, but I only have to get to a Frenzy Plant. So here you saw Master Sack, and then you saw the undercharge for a giant W, and that's game. I hope y'all enjoyed that battle. That was very sweet. Next up, we got Charizard versus a Sylveon. I hate Charmers, just like how I hate ridiculously long animes. Just because, ridiculous long animes, they take forever to finish, which isn't a bad thing for a fan of that anime, but, most ridiculously long animes, they're not the best ones in the world. I'm talking about Naruto, One Piece, and freaking Bleach. Well, Bleach has actually made a... So, Bleach is actually a different... So, compared to One Piece and Naruto, Bleach's studio, their animation is godly. So, the animation is 1,000 times better than freaking One Piece or, Naruto, right now, because whoever's animating Bleach you guys are amazing. So anyways, we got a Gengar onto our Swampert, and they're desperately trying to keep alignment here. Boy, it does not matter. You are going to lose. You try to ball so hard on my freaking Swampert, and my Swampert is going to Hydro Cannon you down. I count terribly here. They're going to be able to get the Shadow Punch, but this is fine because I don't want my Swampert to get farmed anyways. So I'm going to fire this Hydro Cannon. This will take out the Gengar, and we're just going to realign everything. All I have to do... Well, the thing about this is that Sylveon loses to both Charizard and Venusaur in the back. So I'm going to send in Venusaur and be like, hi. So they're probably going to top left because it's game over. As you see, I'm overcharging a lot. And they top left because you probably have a Swampert in the back. And that's game. For the final battle, we have Charizard versus Gyarados. Now, I'm about to get very, very wet here. That's not to be funny. I'm just talking about because we're going to get Aqua Tail. So this is actually a terrible lead. What I try to do here is I'm going to try to Dragon Claw or Blast Burn through shields. I need to get a shield, basically. We're going to eat the Aqua Tail here, and I'm in a lot of danger right now. So we're going to fire this Blast Burn, and then I'm going to swap after this in an attempt to keep a sack going. So Blast Burn goes through. I'm going to send in Swampert. This will put the Gyarados in Hydro Cannon range. And it won't actually kill outright. So I'm going to eat the next move the Gyarados is going to go through, but as you see, it doesn't take it out. It literally lives with 1 HP, which makes me sad. Because I was like, dang, I tried to calculate that super hard and that still didn't work. That Mudshot going through should kill though, and now we're in a lot of trouble because that's a whole wall rain, bro. This battle is going to be mega sweaty. So we're gonna eat the Icicle Spear. I'm gonna Earthquake through shields, or attempt to Earthquake through shields, because I need some chip damage on this wall rain, or I don't have a win condition. So as you see, Earthquake goes through. And now I'm gonna have to attempt the sack. So I'm in a whole lot of trouble right now. I send in Charizard. I'm going to force them to fire the Icicle Spear, and then I'm going to have them blow out their energy. What's going to happen here is that I'm going to just overcharge to Oblivion on... I'm going to farm down this wall ring. I'm hopefully going to farm down before they expend both of my shields. Or they have a Swampert in the back. So this is probably triple water. If this is triple water, I win. Because they're going to top left, and that's game. So as you see, they top left, and there's probably a Swampert in the back. So it's triple water. So because I was able to guess and make the right play, despite winning the lead and switch, I won. And that's GG's. Hope you enjoyed the battle. And that's game. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. This is the classic budget team, and sadly, it's gonna go... Well, I'm gonna hope... Well, what I'm trying to say is that this is the end of Ultra Premier Classic. So next season, XLs will reign supreme, and it's going to be the standard. Terrible for esports. It's not like Pogo esports is dying anyways, because if you looked at Arlington or the average, it barely broke 1.3k. And Apex was literally at a total in 20k more. Nice Wigs, one of the Apex shoutcasters, he got 17k, so on total, Apex was around 37,000 or 40,000 or more, actually. I think it got up since I last saw it, but that was only EMEA. So that was EMEA region, and they were capping at 40k, so it's not even North America. North America usually gets 100k plus or even more. So 40,000 for one of the lower known regions for a tier 1 esports, and Pokemon Go, 1.3k. Yeah, this esport is totally breaking the reins. It's going to totally so much potential, and so many people are going to want to invest in a 1.3k organization. I'm just saying. And that has a lot to do with Pokemon. Sadly, here's what happens. With Pokemon, it's not even if you just get past Niantic, you have to get past Nintendo. And Nintendo is notorious for taking away esports, or actually axing esports events like the Smash Bros. One. For those of you that don't know, Smash Brothers is one of the most popular esports out there, and they actually were some third-party organization was about to release a $500,000 pool. Nintendo shut that down because they wanted their partner Panda to do tournaments instead of this third-party organization, even though they had a great relationship with them. So it just goes to show that Pokemon, or Nintendo in general, is just incredibly greedy. We'll never try to invest in esports because they try to keep this kid-friendly thing. But the thing is, Pokemon Go PvP, or Pokemon in general, you literally catch monsters, and after that, you have them battle each other. So, slavery. And this is literally like human chicken fighting, or chicken fighting. We're having pets fight each other. It's not as PG as people really think. They're just cute animated animals that are just trying to kill each other. That's basically what it is. That's their excuse. But yeah, it's not as friendly PG-13 as you would think it would be. But that's just my gripe. I really hope that things get better, but we're taking all the steps in the wrong direction. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But like I mentioned, it's probably not going to go. It's not going to go anywhere. Other places are going far, while Pokemon Go PvP continues to lag, tank, and we still don't have a practice mode. We still have a practice mode. I don't know why we don't have unranked practice right now. We should have it by now. We should really have unlimited battles and unranked practice, like every other freaking ELO game out here. But we still don't have it. So yeah. But that's just what it is. Let's see what happens. Hopefully it does get better. Keywords hopefully, but you know, it's like the magic 8-ball. Don't count on it. Please like, subscribe, and comment for the YouTube algorithm. Good luck on your Galaxies, and I will see y'all on the next video.
That I made, all the things that I have craved, these are what I could have saved.